Long ago in Hong Kong, a big and fancy party was happening and everyone wanted to buy Green Gulf Island, a beautiful place by the sea. Liu was the richest and smartest of them all. He offered $20 million and no one could beat him. As he won, he invited all the rich businessmen to his palace for a celebration. There Liu shows a miniature model of Green Gulf Island and his future goals about it. But Cheng doesn't like the idea and stated he is a fool to invest in a place where there is nothing. He claimed that no more dolphins lived in Green Gulf because he has implemented a technique that forced the dolphins to leave, ensuring that it's a safe island now. Cheng anyways decided to leave the party in his premium flying suit. Uncle Rich, however, sees an opportunity for prosperity, proposing a partnership with Liu, suggesting Ru as their collaborator. Later, Liu was enjoying his private moment when Ru interrupted and threw her watch in the pool to distract the girls. The girls called her silly, asking why would they leave Liu and find her watch, but when she told them it's worth $8 million, they all flew away and jumped in water, clearly all wanting Liu's money only. Ru doesn't want the opportunity to slip away, so she claims she knows the potential of a shared project. After their bidding, they reached an agreement, a 45% stake in that very project. Just as they were about to have some moment, a young girl named Shan appears. Her scary makeup and fashion sense frightened the hell out of them. She was desperate to make contact with Liu as she claimed she liked him very much. The guards had her and seeing the party scene ruined. Ru just left. Liu asked Shan what she wanted, revealing that she's a fangirl and wanted him to call her. She handed him her number. Furious, Liu took it to avoid any more disturbance and asked her to leave. Shan preferred to take a skateboard ride instead of walking, and she seemed expert in her art. Before she returned home, she went to her favorite chicken shop. She bought some chicken for her family. Then she traveled several kilometers and reached an abandoned and an only house far at the hilltop, near the Green Gulf. She went inside, opened some mysterious door to the basement, where a dirty and scary kind of place can be seen. But there our curiosity was raised when we saw her skating right to that abandoned ship. When she reached down in the ship, we saw an old woman snoring and went straight to a bathtub, where her family lived. Well, in a bathtub, a little mermaid raised up with bruises and injury marks as something had affected its body. She sprinkled some powder in the water and he became lively again. She had so much pain yet love in her eyes for him. She started to take off her clothes and it revealed she was a mermaid too. A real mermaid. Alright, that's why her walk was so weird. She jumped in the water where many of her species were already there. So this was the hiding point for all mermaids who survived. As Liu was responsible for the destruction of Green Gulf and implementing dangerous machines forcing the mermaids to leave, many of them were finished already, so they had no other choice to hide here, but with each passing day they seek for an opportunity to take revenge. While at Liu's office, different presentations were going on to show how their advanced sonar transmitters in the water will prevent any aquatic life from coming towards the island. Ru asked how they were so sure, so one of the assistant ladies brought a little fish with a demo sonar in the water. When she turned it on, the little fish kept on fighting to survive until it burst. That's so cruel. This upset Ru's stomach a little. She couldn't see it but still asked her assistant to take a photo for her social media. Well, that's more cruel. While at the island, the old mermaid is the wiser one and she told them that humans have never been brutal from the start. She keeps on telling the story that all the ancestors were monkeys until due to some earth changes, some of the monkeys were forced to live in the sea and some remained on land. Due to the water, their legs were no longer of use, so eventually evolved into a tail to survive underwater. According to the elder mermaid, humans and mermaids lived side by side until some of the humans started hunting mermaids to claim every place, and after years they kept on doing the same thing to the mermaids. By that time, they had become even more violent and cruel. Well, God knows how true that is. Now, as she began to bring a solution to all the chaos that occurred to them, she went snoring again right in the middle of such a critical moment. There an octopus took the lead and encouraged them to get prepared and take revenge from Liu, as he is responsible for all those who were dead. He once again tells them the plan that Liu is interested in girls, so they have sent their most beautiful mermaid Shan to seduce Liu and bring him here so they end him. That's why she has managed to cut the tail to dance and walk on earth like a normal human. At least, they thought she walked like a normal human being. Now they all were waiting for Liu to call Shan, but the phone didn't ring. Instead, Liu is enjoying Ru's company at his office, but she never misses a chance to humiliate him out of her Nobel race pride and says they both are so different and Liu can never meet her standards because they both might be rich, but she is rich by birth and he was raised in a poverty-stricken family. Just to show her that she's not the only one and he's not clearly interested in such a proud lady he called Shan. He told her that he's coming to pick her up. Shan and the best soldiers out of them got ready with their weapons. They moved out of their hiding place and sent one by the slingshot to the upper abandoned house. They all were ready when suddenly they heard the knock on the door. Shan opens the door, showing off her sexy moves, thinking that it would be Liu, but he has sent his men. The men took her with them, and the octopus followed them through the woods and handed her the bag full of weapons. One of the men caught an octopus body inside the bushes, so that octopus acted as a normal being, said, "I have caught one to do experiments." At the office building, Shan mixed poison in one of the glass for Liu, but she first interacted with the guards and the manager. They have a thorough security check on Shan. The scanner caught something in her feet. She got scared as she was about to reveal, and they asked her to take off her shoes. Hesitantly, when she was about to do so, the manager stopped and picked a nail from the shoe, saying it was due to this. Well, they seemed to have a light chit-chat, so shook the glass and had a drink. Shan seemed nervous, but she had no choice. Her facial expressions began to arouse curiosity among the manager that she had drunk the poison, but it came out that she had the bitter lemon. Actually, the manager drank the poisoned one, so Shan poured some alcohol in his mouth to save him. When everyone was busy, she got a glimpse of Liu, who was walking by. She ditched the guard and went after him. She follows Liu to his suite, where she tries to hurt him first with some sharp cactus-like ball, but it turned out she attacked herself. Then she took another ball and began to throw with full force, but didn't realize she was seeing the reflection in the mirror. Exhausted with the poisoned weapons, she took out the poisoned knife and tried to finish him, but Liu began to dance to his favorite song. Finally, when he stood firm, she flew and began to attack, but he knocked her with the golf club, and she fell unconscious. It clearly wasn't her day. When she wakes up, she begins to seduce her with her old sexy postures, but Liu offers her money for hitting her, and of course she refuses to accept. Liu thought that she might need more money, so throw some more bucks, but she refused again and told him that she didn't want his money. He was done with her, so asked to leave, but suddenly shifted his tone upon seeing Ru coming. He ignored her, and just to make her jealous, he went with Shan, and one can easily see hatred in those little eyes. Shan takes him with her to her favorite place, where first he tries to ditch her, but due to their weird connection brought him back. He first refused to eat in such a low standard place, but once he tasted the chicken, he ordered multiple of it. At one point while eating, he began to cry and told her that he remembered the days when he was a child from a poor family and they had nothing to eat for days. And one day his father brought the chicken that tasted the same as this one. That day, he decided to earn unlimited money, no matter what. Hearing this, Shan asked him, "What would you do with so much money if there's not a single drop of water and no air on earth?" Liu sensed her wisdom and wrote a check of 1 million for bringing him tasty food, but Shan threw it in the fire pit. Liu asked what exactly she wanted, so she told him that he can just spend some time with her. They both sang weirdly, and Liu noticed she had the same taste in music like him. They went on silly joy rides and literally enjoyed the day. Liu, who was a great businessman, found true happiness with this weird girl. Sometimes we suppress our inner child just because we have to pretend to be cool in front of the world and maintain our status, but Liu began to realize what made him truly happy after ages. When he dropped her home, he held her hand tightly, and both seemed to develop some strange feelings for each other. Shan was disturbed because she knew what was waiting for Liu ahead. To bring him in, she started to take off her clothes, but he said he couldn't see anything clearer, and when he followed her inside, she closed the door, saying that it's too late now. She was saving him. Octopus is furious at her that they had a great chance to end Liu, and asked her if by any chance she fell in love with him, but she refused, saying that it was a hectic long day, so she was exhausted. She received a call from Liu telling her that he wants to take her out tomorrow as well. They all yelled to destroy Liu, but this time Shan's intentions seemed to low on heat. Next day, Liu takes Shan for lunch, bringing beautiful red roses for her. There, the octopus arrives as a chef, and the guards recognize when he is about to attack Liu, and so he has to use his tentacles for the food. Struggling with cooking and steaming his tentacles, he blinds everyone with his black liquid and rushes off to save himself. After he left, Liu took out a ring and put it on her finger. She furiously took it off, but he explained that he never met anyone who truly loved him. All the girls just love his money, but she's different. She tried to attack Liu with the knife, but before she could do this, she asked him what if she has been fooling him about all this. He didn't listen and said she can fool him as long as he lies. He kissed her and some tears dropped on Shan's cheeks. Their moment was interrupted by Ru, and Liu told her to get out of his life. He knew she was chasing him for days. He went after Shan. Back at Shan's home, Octopus is sitting on the sofa at the house, where he blames Shan for liking Liu because they keep failing, and when he walked beside the roof and confronted her to tell this thing by looking in his eyes that she didn't like him. That naughty mermaid switches on the fan and lets him swing. Shan tells that she doesn't want to do it anymore. There, someone knocked on the door, and due to the heated moment, Shan didn't realize and opened the door. It was Liu. Liu was shocked to see her fishtail and other mermaids lying in the room and an octopus hanging from the ceiling. He wanted to run but was captured. In the ship, he noticed many other mermaids lying injured, so he was told that his sonars were causing severe damage to these creatures, and because of him they have lost many loved ones. Shan was hiding. She couldn't make herself face him and watch him die. When he was about to be ended, he yelled that if they finish him, the sonars would still be there and keep on causing destruction. He made a point and asked forgiveness, but the octopus didn't believe him. He captured him brutally and was about to end his life when Shan appeared, cut one of his tentacles, and asked him to hurry and leave. Octopus threatened to eliminate her, but he couldn't. Liu left and Shan began to cry out of regret for what she had done, but the truth was she couldn't let anyone eliminate her beloved. Liu went straight to the police office and tried to report the incident, but the police officers seemed to control their laughter because they thought he got insane. Realizing they won't believe him, he left the office, but once he heard them laughing so hard, he returned, but the officers tried to be professional and acted normal as if nothing happened. However, once he left, they again laughed at his stupidity. Shan was feeling lost and considering a severe choice to end her own life. But before she could go through with it, the wise old mermaid appeared and comforted her. The mermaid explained that Shan's actions were natural because she risked everything for love, especially when it involved a human. Meanwhile, Liu was confused and frustrated, not understanding what had happened and why he was blamed. Ru tried to distract him with her charm. She finally wanted that man because he kept on ignoring her. This time, when she thought she had him, he simply asked for forgiveness. But now Liu wanted answers. He did research and saw the harm caused by the sonar technology to marine life. Realizing they all were right, Liu took a stand. He went to the sonar building and testing compartment to feel what it feels like, but to his shock, he couldn't even bear 2 seconds of it, and the assistant told him that the power was reduced to 10 times lower for Liu. He called a meeting to stop the sonars, no matter how much this decision will cause loss. He just wanted to fix the damage. When Ru came to his office, everyone told her that Liu wanted to quit the project. She pretended to be on his side, so he thought he could believe her and maybe she would understand what he saw. He finally revealed his encounter with the mermaid and octopus. Ru said she believed him and suddenly moved to George, a marine biologist who was secretly working on mermaids. George thought the mermaids were real, but those whom he captured were already dead, so couldn't study anymore. She told him if they have their DNA, that their company would become the greatest biotechnological research institute and it would benefit their assets a lot. As now, they had their hideout, so she asked him to follow the location, capture the mermaids, and end that girl Shan. Liu understood he made a terrible mistake. Ru sent her men there, and apparently they'd found an abandoned place with no mermaid there. However, one man went underwater and found many of the living mermaids. While they tried to capture some, while the intelligent and powerful mermaids attacked the men. One of the men tried to capture Shan, but she managed to escape. There emerged the wise mermaid and saved everyone by jumping out of the ship into Green Gulf Island and informed that the sonars have turned off now. One by one, everyone saved their life. However, Shan contended that Liu was telling the truth. Liu leaves to warn Shan, but he gets stuck in the traffic while Ru leaves by a helicopter to end Shan. She kept on chasing Shan until she blew a huge fire underwater, forcing Shan to jump out of the water. She was badly injured, and that fake man mermaid from the museum got a glimpse of a real mermaid, so took a picture. Finally, he got to know what a real mermaid looks like. While Liu is stuck in the traffic, he finds Chang on the road, and he takes his rocket blaster to get to Shan and arrives at the moment. She was captured by Ru and her men. He holds Shan and tells her that he would bring her home, while Ru is willing to hurt anyone for her cause, so doesn't spare Liu, who was shocked that the lady actually attacked him, but kept on moving until he got 3 arrows in his chest. He managed to come to the water bank, despite the pain, because he wanted to save Shan. George stops Ru and the police come and capture all of Ru's men. After much time had passed, Liu was sitting near the Green Gulf inside his home, and one of the marine biological students paid his visits to thank him for the scholarship and asked why a person like Liu had donated all his money for the environmental cause. And he answered, "What you people may also remember, that what if there's no clean water and fresh air on Earth left? Does all the money matter?" And the student got his answer. When he asked if that's true that you don't talk about mermaids just to save them, he answered, "It is still a fairy tale." And his wife, Lucy, appeared from behind, who was once Shan, told him that he should travel around. "It's so beautiful." And Liu agreed, reminiscing each day when he used to visit the mermaids underwater. Thank you for being part of this story. Take care and stay tuned for the next story.